Okay, the Confessions of a Caveman, Psalm 142. This is from the cave. You ever felt prehistoric? Has your life ever been reduced to grunts and groans? And as one poet expressed it, life must go on, I just can't remember why. A vicious swirl of getting up, going to bed, dropping into bed exhausted only to fall further behind instead of ahead. Trapped in a cave, David babysat 400 fellow fugitives. That's his address in Psalm 142. From the cave of Adullam, he looks up and discovers some great truths about God. So can we. Cave times often slide in right after our victories, as David discovered. As a hero, David toppled the number one villain of the hour, Goliath, and lived to tell about it in 1 Samuel 17. As Mr. Brave, he escaped the assassination attempt by Saul in 1 Samuel 19. As Mr. Clever, he acted his way out of the presence of those dreadful commanders of the Philistines in 1 Samuel 21. But in our text, we meet David running for his life, caring for his family, and hosting these malcontents. Cave times usually follow times of great victory. And usually this is what happens. You get something great happening and all of a sudden the world caves in. That's a sequence I've seen so many times in my life because there's great distresses. And it says in verse 3 of Psalm 142 that David was overwhelmed in spirit. He felt the roof caving in, everything was going wrong, and he hears those awful words, I have some bad news for you. The test. Have you ever been waiting for the doctor and they say, they always come in real sober and they say, I have some bad news for you. And you just feel everything coming down. That's how he felt. He said, they've hidden a trap for me. They're all after me. I've been railroaded. I've been framed. You ever felt like that at work? Like everybody, or at school, everybody was against you and they're setting you up. That's how he felt. He said in verse 4 of Psalm 142, no one regards me. No one called when I missed church, or I'm a nobody. I never got a card. Poor me. I did all this and no one recognized it. Or I'm all alone. Nobody cares about it. That's how he felt in that cave. And then he says those classic words most people feel when they're depressed. He says, there's no escape for me. You ever gotten to the point where you say, I'm 50 years old or 55 or 60 and I lost my job. I can't get a job. I don't know what to do. Bills are piling. No escape. I'm on a one-way trip to nowhere. You're too old. I'm sorry, but the qualifications for this position are other than what you have. And he said, nobody cares for my soul. Starting in verse 5, and I listed them for you, this is what David discovered. He says, God, you're my refuge. You're the only one I can come to when things are falling apart. You're my portion. You'll always give me just what I need. You know what? I was feeding our baby. I didn't get out the serving spoon or the tablespoon or the soup spoon, or I got out the baby spoon. And I put it in. I didn't even fill the baby spoon. I put it in. And I went, just got some on the end. And, he's going, and I got it in there. And it was all pureed and smooth. He can't take anything hard, too little. God says, I am your portion. He said, nothing's going to happen in your life, in your job, in your body, in your future, that I haven't gotten just right for you. I'm the one that makes your portions. I'm your listener. I hear everything you say, even though some people look at you and go, huh, okay, I'll pray for you, huh? And they walk away, and you think they weren't even listening. God says, I'm your listener. I'll listen to your cry. I'm your deliverer. I will bring you out. David says, I will focus on you. You're my provider and my sufficiency. Let me close with this. Cave life yields great discoveries about God. David sings them in Psalm 142. Listen to the confessions of this caveman. This is what he's saying. He said, Lord of refuge, you're my portion. O listening one, hear my cry and rescue me. Remember the Lord of hosts standing outside the door, the God of the armies of heaven and earth. My God who provides the righteous together about me, you are sufficient. He ends where Job ended. You know what Job, after all of his 40 chapters of suffering, 41, in the 42nd chapter, Job looks on God as El Shaddai, which means the God who is sufficient, or the God who is enough. David is in the same place. He says, you're sufficient. How's your world? Caving in? Why not look up out of the dark cave of your need and find courage in the one David found sufficient?